The latest 2023 horror film Malum has officially premiered. Beneath the police station lies a terrifying demon, one that possessed Will. The officer who had just cracked a cult case and made him kill his own colleague with his bare hands. Eventually, Will was found inside the holding cell, but his expression was disturbingly strange. After uttering a chilling final message,
"Tell him I'm safe in the arms of my master,
he shot himself dead. Since then, the holding cell has become off-limits to all officers. Years later, Will's daughter Jessica has grown up and successfully become a police officer herself. When she learns that the precinct where her father worked is about to be demolished and that someone needs to stand watch one last night, she volunteers without hesitation, determined to uncover the real cause of her father's death. But her decision meets fierce opposition from her mother, Diane. Even when Jessica questioned her about the reason, Diane stayed silent and refused to explain. It was clear that there was an unspeakable secret surrounding her father's death. That night, Jessica drives her patrol car to the precinct where her father died. On the way, she witnesses a chilling sight. The entire street is soaked in the aura of crime. It's clear this is not a safe neighborhood. When she arrives at the station, she's greeted by a grumpy veteran officer. Despite his bad attitude during the shift handover, he still scribbles his number on a piece of paper and warns her, "Stay away from the holding cell."
"Stay out of the holding."
But since Jessica came here specifically to investigate her father's death, the holding cell is exactly where she needs to go. She heads to her father's old locker first. Strangely, all the other lockers are unlocked. Only her father's is tightly secured. As she ponders how to open it, she suddenly hears the sound of a basketball bouncing outside the room. But when she gets to the gym, all she finds is an empty court and a lone basketball. Still puzzled, she sees a figure in the distance. She quickly turns on the lights, but the figure vanishes in an instant. Before she can gather her thoughts, the station doorbell rings. She rushes to the entrance. There, she finds a deranged old man, seemingly looking for someone. He reacts violently and even urinates on the spot. Judging him to be mentally unstable, Jessica chooses not to open the door. The man soon walks away on his own. Afterward, Jessica cleans up the entrance. As she puts the mop back in the storage closet, she notices a pair of pliers, but they're old and rusted. No matter how hard she tries, she can't pry open the locker's lock. She then grabs a fire extinguisher and tries to smash it open, but it's no use. Suddenly, the phone rings. Jessica leaves to answer it, only to hear disturbing pig squeals and a woman's mocking laughter. It's clearly a prank call. Frustrated, she slams down the receiver, returns to the locker, and uses her gun to shoot the lock off. Inside a hidden compartment, she finds a box containing files from the cult case her father once handled, records of 3 girls he rescued, and detailed reports of a sacrificial victim named Betty. According to the reports, when Will arrived at the farm, Betty had already been sacrificed. She was brutally dismembered, and her body parts were fed to a pig. As Jessica reads the files, strange noises come from outside. She quickly checks the surveillance cameras. She then contacts the new police department. A pig had mysteriously appeared at the precinct door, clearly placed there by someone. Jessica requests backup, but with too many incidents happening that night, the new department has no one to spare. They ask her to temporarily contain the pig and promise to send someone later. With no other choice, Jessica opens the door. But this pig is off. Its back is marked with disturbing symbols, and its collar reads Betty. Jessica doesn't notice anything unusual. Instead, she kindly gives the pig some water and locks it up. But just as she steps outside, more strange sounds echo through the station. Someone has broken in. Cautiously, she draws her gun and begins searching. She finds the intruder. It's the same deranged old man, and he's holding Betty's shoes. Seeing he means no harm, Jessica tases him unconscious and prepares to lock him in the holding cell.
Roll over!
But the old man starts rambling, refusing to enter, screaming, "He's here!" as if sensing something sinister. Jessica is left with no choice and drags him in. The moment she steps into the cell, the door slams shut on its own. The old man starts violently banging on the door. Realizing there's no escape, he walks silently into the corner. Meanwhile, Jessica searches for her dropped flashlight. Then, something terrifying happens.
So maybe shoot someone first. Give me the flashlight.
Still here! Still here!
As she bangs on the door for help, her father's voice suddenly calls out.
Dad? Dad?
She grabs her flashlight in a panic. Shaken, she slams the door shut and quietly recites the police manual to calm herself. While picking up documents from the floor, she realizes the strange symbols on the pig exactly match the ones in the photo. At the bottom of the box, she finds a hidden USB drive. She returns to her car to retrieve a laptop to read it, only to encounter a woman who'd been thrown from a vehicle. Out of compassion, Jessica brings the injured woman back inside and treats her wounds. The woman reveals she's been here before. Years ago, she witnessed something horrifying from the adjacent cell. A group of people hanging themselves in a collective suicide. Later, she learned they were cult members. Mid-conversation, the woman sees something terrifying and bolts out of the precinct in panic. Soon after, Jessica receives another call from the mysterious woman. This time, the caller threatens the life of one of the girls her father had saved, demanding Jessica not hang up the phone. After confirming Jessica is the chosen target, the woman declares that the final ritual must be completed tonight, then abruptly hangs up. Jessica immediately contacts the detectives, and the new police station quickly realizes the seriousness of the situation, because earlier that night, 2 girls had gone missing at a party. And shockingly, they are the very same girls her father once rescued. Upon learning this, Jessica quickly checks the contents of the USB drive. To her horror, it's a video of Betty being sacrificed. The graphic, terrifying footage frightens her so much, she shuts the laptop before finishing it. At that moment, Jessica's mother calls, begging her to stop digging further. But the computer starts playing the video automatically. When Diane hears the cult's ritual chant in the background, she panics and urges Jessica to shut it off immediately. The next second, the screen displays a different version of Jessica. As the evidence box falls to the floor, a paper target appears beside it. Curious, Jessica follows the clues to the shooting range, only to be ambushed by the demon. She flees in a panic, but the police station doors are locked tight. She has no choice but to call for help again. Thankfully, the new station decides to send backup immediately. But just after Jessica hangs up, the phone rings again, this time playing a strange, haunting melody. Clearly, this has gone far beyond the realm of science. She replays the USB video once more and learns that the cult leader was named John Malum. Will had once captured him for interrogation. But oddly, Malum showed no fear. Instead, he confidently declared he would one day find Will's daughter and complete the final ritual. In that interrogation video, Jessica also makes a shocking discovery.
The love God! And now it's in for you!
Before she could react, she was dragged into the morgue, surrounded by the corpses of cult members. Unable to move, she screams for help. The next moment, a group of live cultists storms in, murders the morgue attendant, and takes the dead bodies with them. Once they leave, Jessica is able to move again, but as she rises to her feet, she jolts awake screaming, realizing it was all a hallucination. At that moment, the reinforcement officers finally break down the station doors. But on a night like this, no amount of backup can stop the demon. It only adds more victims. During a conversation, the officer learned that Jessica was Will's daughter, so he took her to the evidence room. Looking at the shotgun her father once used, Jessica could no longer tell the difference between reality and illusion. As the monster reappears, she begins to see even more of the truth. It turns out Diane was once a follower of Malum, and Jessica had been marked by Malum shortly after birth. When she regains consciousness, she hears Nate crying for help. She rushes over and finds the officer who was sent as backup holding Nate at gunpoint. Jessica quickly opens the door to help Nate escape, but just as he reaches the door, he hears the voice of his daughter, Betty. And the video starts playing again. It reveals that Diane, upon realizing the cult's horror, had tried to escape with her daughter. That was also the reason why Will captured Malum. But now, the evil spirit has found Jessica, and there's no way out. After Jessica defeats one of the monsters, the station's doorbell rings. It's Diane. Jessica prepares to confront her mother and uncover the truth, but Diane sees Will's ghostly figure and follows it inside. And upon hearing a noise coming from the gym, Jessica raised her gun and went to investigate. She finds a woman who has kidnapped the two girls and is attempting to complete the ritual. The woman brutally kills one of the girls. Though Jessica manages to shoot the woman dead, she's quickly surrounded by more cultists. After narrowly escaping the crazed followers, Jessica plans to take her mother and leave. But when she returns to the break room, Diane is gone. Just then, she receives a terrifying phone call.
I'd come back for all he loved.
Where the is my mother?
A vessel must be chosen by its passenger. I was chosen when I was a boy. And tonight, the low god finally comes.
Right after the call ends, Nate, the man who had once entered Betty's room, appears again, moving in a grotesque and twisted manner. When Jessica realizes something is wrong with him, she shoots Nate dead. But the cultists have already broken into the station. Desperate to find her mother, Jessica is forced to keep moving. One terrifying vision after another begins to break down her will. Each girl that Will once saved ends up dying one by one, until the very last one, whom Jessica also fails to rescue. It is said the demon only tempts those with weakened resolve, then slowly devours their souls. Hearing her mother cry for help, Jessica raises her father's hunting shotgun, ready for a final confrontation with the demon. Following the eerie noises, she enters the basement. There, the demon's servant guides her deeper. Eventually, she finds her mother, but when she removed the hood, she discovered it was Malum, long since dead. Behind him stand rows of cult followers. As they part,
Your spirit will feast.
Jessica snaps awake, but Malum's voice still echoes in her ears. It turned out the demon was called the Temple Baron, and the main reason he sought out Jessica was to complete the final sacrificial ritual and successfully resurrect the Queen of Darkness. As Jessica killed her own mother in the hallucination, the demon's followers began mocking her, one after another. And in that moment, the last of her will was completely shattered. With Jessica's death, the ritual was complete, and the Queen of Darkness was resurrected.